Hi, St. John Fishers, Father John here with your Friday video. Did you know that the Vatican is the world's only carbon neutral state? Yeah. All of the energy that is produced within the Vatican or used within the Vatican is either renewable and sustainable or is offset by the use of renewable energy. So the electricity that is used, if it comes from the main supply source from the state of Italy, then it's offset by the presence of solar panels on the roofs of various buildings dotted around the Vatican state. The transport within the Vatican is a collection of hybrid vehicles. Most of the people who live within the walls of the Vatican, cardinals, bishops, mothers superior, nuns, people like that, they tend to be a bit old and not as steady on their feet as they used to be. So there are these hybrid vehicles or electric vehicles which bring them about to where they need to be. And the Pope has both a hybrid Pope-mobile and a fully electric Pope-mobile, this great big white Jeep that drives the Pope around St. Peter's Square before a big audience or before a big mass. That's also a renewable energy vehicle. There was the embarrassing moment about halfway through Pope Benedict's time as Pope, when an electric car company wrote to the Vatican to say, we want to offer an electric Pope-mobile to the Pope so that he can be seen as a world leader in tackling the climate crisis, only for the Vatican to write back and say, terribly sorry, but he's already got one. So the Vatican city-state may only be just over a mile long, about the size of 5 football pitches, but nevertheless gives us all hope that it is possible to achieve sustainability. And it's nice for us as Catholics to think that the headquarters of our institution is at the forefront of that particular fight. So continuing looking at the different types of prayer available to us, I want to talk a little bit today about what we call prayer of petition. Last week I went down to Wolverhampton to the funeral of a priest. He was also called Father John. And so there was a group of us, brother priests, who turned out, as well as his parishioners, to pray for the repose of Father John's soul, to pray for his eternal rest, and to also ask God that this man who had served Jesus faithfully as a priest, who had served people trying to follow Jesus' commandments in this world, should now receive that reward that was promised to all of Jesus' faithful disciples. So we were making a petition. We were asking God to take the soul of this good man to himself and to give him the reward that's promised to all of God's faithful disciples. We would be mistaken if we thought that God somehow needs our prayers. Prayers actually are for our own benefit. If we don't ask for help, we may not necessarily get help. Think of when you're trying to tackle a particular piece of work in school, and for whatever reason you're just not getting it. If you don't ask for help from your teachers, from other students, maybe from older students who've done the course before you and who know what's being expected of you, if you don't ask for that help, you won't get the help and you may keep struggling. It's sort of similar with prayer. By asking for help from God, we get help from God. By asking for help from God, we discover ways to tackle whatever problem we're going for, or we realize somehow that this prayer has been answered, like the peace I got praying for Father John's soul at his funeral, entrusting this good man to God's mercy and feeling, along with everyone else in the congregation, that everything was going to be all right. And of course, the more we learn to pray, the more we feel part of this great spiritual family that we call the church. The more that we learn to pray and the more we discover other people praying with us and for us, we start to get hope that perhaps with so many people praying with us and for us, maybe somebody's listening. It gives us that hope on a human level as well as a spiritual level, that our prayers are being heard. That's why we make prayers of petition, not only to ask for help, but also to feel part of that great spiritual family. There's a good section in this book, the UCAT, a young person's catechism, which is well worth all of you popping on an online wish list or seeing if the school budget will stretch to getting a couple of copies dotted throughout the school. Well worth checking out the section in prayer there. Have a good weekend, everybody. See you at Mass on Sunday. God bless.